let's get some perspective from the Trump campaign. Joining us now, senior advisor to the former president, Corey Lewandowski. He used to serve as campaign manager for Trump's 2016 White House run. Corey, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. Let's get right into this. Last night, Senator Vance refused to answer whether Trump lost the 2020 election. Let's listen to that.
I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future. Did Kamala Harris censor Americans from speaking their mind in the wake of the 2020 COVID situation?
That is a damning non-answer.
Yeah, Corey, why is this so difficult for the Trump campaign to answer? I mean, it's 2024. Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? Can you answer that?
Jim, I think it's very simple. The American people have passed the 2020 election. They're focused on an election which is just under 5 weeks away. And what we have an opportunity to do now is to talk about two different visions for America. And what J.D. Vance laid out last night is a very different vision than what Tim Walz and Kamala Harris want to say. So, look, we can go back and relitigate the 2020 election, or we can look at what we can do to make America better for everyday Americans who are struggling under Bidenomics.
Yeah,
they're struggling
Corey,
under.
It's not relitigating. It's just a simple question. Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? I mean, that's an easy
Jim,
one.
why are we talking about 2020 anymore? Does the American people care about the 2020 election anymore, or do they care about being able to put food on their table, gas in their car, home
I think
heating
one
oil
reason
in
why
their...
it's coming up, Corey, is because the former president has said on the campaign trail repeatedly that there was all this widespread fraud in 2020. That was not the case. And he's also teeing up the same kinds of challenges after this election. It hasn't even happened yet. So it is a very relevant
Jim,
question.
we know there was fraud. There's no question there was some fraud that took place in the 2020 election. There's no question about that.
No widespread fraud.
What does widespread mean, Jim? Is one vote that's illegal enough? Or how many do you determine is widespread? What is that number?
There were instances of voter fraud from Trump supporters. I mean, you know that from the 2020 campaign. But
and you're saying there was none on the other side, Jim?
I mean, I'm sure there was, but Corey, I mean, every expert, people from inside the Trump administration who have come out since then have said, no widespread voter fraud. And
but
I guess
what
the
does
question
widespread mean, Jim? Why are we focusing on 2024 is my question.
Okay, so I guess what you're saying is that Donald Trump did not lose the 2020 election. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is Joe Biden is the president of the United States. You recognize that, and I recognize that. But let's talk about the 2024 election, which is less than 5 weeks away, and let's look at the two visions for America
Will
that these two candidates have.
Will Donald Trump honor the results of the 2024 election? Will he do that?
Jim, did Hillary Clinton honor the results? No. Did Democrats honor the results?
Yes, she did. She called and conceded the election.
Corey,
I was with you guys on election night in Manhattan.
She said the election was stolen. She said there was Russian interference. Members of this network said that the Steele dossier was true.
She called the then president-elect and conceded the election.
Jim, why are we talking hypotheticals? Why aren't we talking about the policy matters that matter to the American people?
I know,
the 20
but Corey,
million
it's a
illegals
simple
that have
question.
poured across this country.
Jim,
why are we talking about the 13,000 murderers who've been led into this country under the Biden-Harris-Walz administration? Let's talk about things that people care about. Let's talk about the crippling economy. You want to talk about a hypothetical in 5 weeks from now. I'm talking about every single day right now.
Let's talk about immigration. All right, last night, J.D. Vance said immigrants have, quote, destroyed Americans' lives in Springfield. Before having his mic cut. But all of this got started when Trump falsely claimed at last month's debate that Haitian migrants were eating pets. The governor of Ohio, the mayor of Springfield have both come out and said this is not true. Corey, can you say that Haitian migrants are not eating pets in Springfield? Can you say that?
You know what I can say, Jim? I can say that 13,099 murderers were led into this country, 16,000 rapists, 425,000 people in the last 4 years have been led into this country by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's own Customs and Border Protection that are running around this country, Jim.
The other thing, too, it's Kamala
crimes.
Harris. I don't know. Why do you guys say Kamala? It's Kamala Harris.
Jim, we know that they're committing crimes against Americans. Why can't these individuals talk about the individuals who've been killed by illegal immigrants? 13,099 murderers have been led into this country by this administration's own accounting, and you guys don't want to talk about it. To put that in perspective,
Corey, we talk about
viewers,
immigration all the time. We talk about this all the time.
Jim, admit that 13,099 murders have been led into this country. That's Corey, 4 murderers for every single county in America. You don't think that that's a problem?
Border crossings are down and crime is down in this country. But
crime is not down in this country. The FBI
I asked you at the
lied,
beginning
Jimmy,
of this interview, did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election? I just asked you whether Haitian migrants are eating dogs and cats in Springfield. You won't admit the truth on either of those questions. I
Jim,
want to ask
will
you about something
admit that 13,000 murderers have come into the country?
The
13,000
number is
murders.
false, by the way. The 13,000 number is false.
Why is it false, Jim? If the government's own data says that, CBP's own data put this out last week. So why do you say it's false if the government put out? By the way, this is the Biden-Harris administration who put out.
The
So
government
why is it
also
false?
says border crossings are down.
But Jim, you just said that was a false number. How do you get how do you get to that? What data do you have that says Customs and Border Protection is wrong?
Yeah. I also want to ask you about something that
No, but
Trump
Jim, you just said
at
it was
a camp-
wrong.
That is over several administrations, Corey. That number is over several administrations.
How many?
Corey, well, why don't you tell me, since you seem to have command of that fact?
I have command of what they put out, which
Okay.
is 13,099 murderers have been let into
Okay.
this country. That is a fact.
But the
You said that's
administration
not
has
true.
also said that border crossings are down. Isn't that also true?
Well, Jim, which
Isn't that
facts are you
true?
going to go with? Are you going to go with some
Yeah.
of the facts from CBP or all the facts from CBP? Which ones are you going with?
Well, we're going with the facts, Corey. I don't know about you, but I do want to ask you about something Trump said at a campaign stop in Milwaukee last night. He apparently confused the leaders of North Korea and Iran. Let's listen to this.
We had planned an outdoor rally, and it would have been amazing. And Washington would not get us. They said that we have to guard the United Nations, which meant the president of North Korea, who's basically trying to kill me. So they want to guard him, but they don't want to guard me.
Yeah, Corey, what is the former president talking about there? Why is he getting confused about that?
Well, I think the president was he meant to say the president of Iran, which is trying to kill him. We know there are credible threats against this president. We know that for sure. It has been widely publicized. And we know that until recently, this administration refused to give him the Secret Service protection that he should have been entitled to. And that's why there have been 2 attempted assassinations on his life. So, look, we need to do a better job as a
Secret Service
government.
thwarted the second one. They thwarted
Jimmy
the
took a
second
bullet in the ear. He took a bullet in the ear because the U.S. Secret Service wasn't communicating with the people on the ground. Don't you think that is an epic failure? And when additional resources
reported it
were
was an
asked
epic
for,
failure.
but Jim, additional resources were asked for from the campaign, and they were denied by this administration until this man took a bullet for this country. I think that's an epic failure, and it goes to show you the politics of the top of the administration, whether it's Mayorkas or it's Kamala or it's Joe Biden. Donald
Corey,
Trump should have had additional resources.
What is this Kamala? It's Kamala Harris. Corey, you've been in this business a long time. I think you're a mature grown-up. It's Kamala Harris. Can you just say, can you say Kamala, or you cannot say Kamala?
Jim, can you admit
what's going on there?
13,099 murders have come into the country? You said you
All right.
haven't.
Well, Corey, I appreciate you coming on. Maybe we'll have you back. Thanks for your time.